Hey guys, happy day. Got a little rainy Monday out here for you, so by the time you guys see this, it'll be Tuesday, but hope you guys are doing well. And you had a good weekend. It was beautiful outside, so hope you were able to get outside for some fresh air and some walks. But let's take a look at what we're doing here today. We have a quiz this Thursday on adding and subtracting fractions and comparing them. So heads up on that. Today we're going to be looking at adding and subtracting mixed numbers. But if you look at our example, 4 and 2/6 plus 5 and 7/9, my denominator is different. And we know we cannot add, subtract, or do anything with fractions unless our denominator is the same. So we're going to find the least common multiple of 6 and 9 by listing out their multiples and find the lowest one. So I know multiples of 6 are 6, 12, 18, 24, and so on. Multiples of 9 are 9, 18, 27, and I'm actually going to stop right there because I already found my lowest common multiple of 6 and 9, and that is 18. Okay, so now we can have a new denominator of 18 that is the same to make our math a lot easier. So when we rewrite this equation, we are adding here, guys, so heads up on the operation. I'm going to rewrite my mixed number of 4 and 2/6. And I'm going to line them up on top of each other like we've been practicing. 5 and 7/9. Okay, and we are adding here. So heads up on that. And now we want to make common denominators. We want to make equivalent fractions with the same denominators. So I know my denominator is now 18 for both. So let's do one. 4 and 2/6. Let me see. So go from 6 to 18. I know I'm going to multiply by 3. So do the same, the top and the bottom to get an equivalent fraction. 6 times 3 is 18. 2 times 3 is 6. Okay? And we cannot forget about our whole number. So we're saying 4 and 2/6 is equal to 4 and 6/18. Now we have 5 and 7/9, and we want to make an equivalent fraction with 18 there as a denominator. To go from 9 to 18, I know I multiply by 2. So we'll do the same for the top and the bottom. 9 times 2 is 18. 7 times 2 is 14. And then our whole number is 5. Okay, so now we have 5 and 14/18. Now we can just add, okay? 6/18 plus 4/18. All right, well, my denominator is the same. And I'm going to add my numerators. 6 plus 14 is 20. Now heads up on that, guys. We already have an improper fraction. It's greater than one whole. We'll get back to that in a second. 4 plus 5 is our whole numbers. So I know 4 plus 5 is 9. So now we have 9 and 20/18. Now, as I said, it is an improper fraction, guys, so we have to convert that. In order to convert that, we're going to take 1 away from our fraction. But it's got to be in the form of a fraction. So since my denominator is 18, I'm going to take 18/18 away from my fraction. Okay? But I can't forget about it. Okay, so 20/18, we're going to take away one whole minus 18/18, and we get 2/18. Now, with the fraction of one whole we took away, we have to carry it over to our whole number. Now, I know 18/18 is 1, and 1 plus 9 is 10. So now we have 10 and 2/18, which is our answer. But we have to ask ourselves, can we simplify 10 and 2/18? And the answer is yeah, we can. Our greatest common factor of 2 and our greatest common factor of 18 is 2. So I can use that to simplify. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 18 divided by 2 is 9. So I get my fraction of 1/9, but we can't forget about our whole number. So I bring over my 10, and my answer is 10 and 1/9. So 4 and 2/6 plus 5 and 7/9 equals 10 and 1/9. And that's my answer. Cool. So let's take a look at a subtractive problem real quick. Okay. So we're trying to subtract 3 and 2/8 minus 1 and 3/4. Okay. So kind of same deal, guys. The first thing I notice, and I want you guys to notice, is our denominators are different. We have to make equivalent fractions using the same denominator. So I'm going to rewrite, actually I'm going to find my least common multiple of both these numbers. Multiples of 8 are 8, 16, 24, and so on. And multiples of 4 are 4, 8, 12, 16, and so on. But I'm going to stop right there because we can already see that our lowest common multiple of 8 and 4, well, yeah, that's 8. So now we can make our equivalent fractions. Let's go ahead and set up our equation. We have 3 and 2/8 minus 1 and 3/4. And we have our common denominator. So I know that these denominators are going to be 8. Well, 3 and 2/8 is easy because this really doesn't change. You go from 8 to 8, we're just going to multiply by 1. So that doesn't change. 8 times 1 is 8, 2 times 1 is 2. So that stays the same, and our whole number also stays the same. So we have 3 and 2/8 again. Down below, we have 1 and 3/4. And we're going to multiply, to go from 4 to 8, we're going to multiply by 2. 4 times 2 is 8, and 3 times 2 is 6. And then our whole number is 1. So now our new equation is 3 and 2/8 minus 1 and 2/6. I'm going to rewrite it over here just so I have a little bit more room. Minus 1 and 6/8. Okay. Now, lining them up top and bottom, fractions, whole numbers. Let's do our fractions first. 2/8, and we want to take away 6/8. Well, we can't do that. 6/8 is more than 2/8. So we have to borrow, okay? We're going to borrow from our 3. So I'm going to take 1 away from that 3. If I take 1 away from 3, I'm left with 2. Now, when I bring over that 1 whole, it's got to be in the form of a fraction. I know that 1 whole in this example is 8/8. So now I have brought over the 8/8, but I can't forget about my 2/8 I already had there. So guys, I'm actually going to add those two together. 2/8 plus 8/8, we know that is 10/8. Okay? And I'm just going to bring over my whole number. So I have 2 and 10/8. And then lastly, I'm just going to slide over my bottom number. It is 1 and 6/8. We are subtracting. So now let's see if we can subtract. Fractions 10/8 minus 6/8. Well, that's easy. We know that is 4/8. And whole numbers 2 minus 1, well, that is 1. Now we have 1 and 4/8 as our answer, which is true. We got to think to ourselves, can we simplify? Yes, we can. So our greatest common factor of 4 and 8 is 4. So I'm going to use that to simplify. 4 divided by 4, well, that's 1. 8 divided by 4 is 2. And our whole number's got to come over as well. So our answer is 1 and 1/2. So to my original equation, 3 and 2/8 minus 3 and 3/4 equals 1 and 1/2. All right, guys, try it today. It's a fun activity, a little draw and color by picture. So I hope you guys enjoy that. And I hope you're doing well. Take care, guys. I'll see you soon.